So we have three variables, length, width and height, and you can see under memory length, width and height reserve some slot to store their data. From this crowd, if we want to identify or call someone, then we generally use their name, right? So this name is nothing but an identifier for that person. Similar way in Java, we have the concept of identifier. And what is that? This is basically called in Java a variable. Now this variable or this identifier denotes some storage locations in memory used to store some data value. As Java is an object oriented programming, let's check with some real world example. So if we take an example of house, so it has its length, it has width and also height. So in Java, we can declare this length, height and width as a variable. Now this will reserve some storage in memory like this way. So we have three variables, length, width and height, and you can see under memory length, width and height reserve some slot to store their data. Now if some data we have put in length and width and height, let's say length is equal to 15, width is equal to 10 and height is equal to 9 meter. So all these value will be loaded in this location. Now in Java there are three type of variables available. They are called instance variable, static variable and local variable. To understand this, let's check in a Java program. As per our house example, I have created a house Java class and I also create a display house details method or function under this class. So in our house, we have checked that there are three properties. One is length, one is width and one is height. So we can create that one like int length, then int width, then int height. Now if you check this variable I have created directly under this house class. So these are nothing but a instance variable. So any variable declared under the class is called instance variable. Why this variable called instance variable? Because these are instance specific. What it's mean? So you can see length, width and height, right? They can have some values, right? But there can be multiple house and their value could not be same. So different house can have different length and width and height. So we can create different instance and for each instance we need to access this one. So that's mean when you are trying to access this one, this variable, every time you have to create an instance of house. There is another type of variable called static variable. So what is this? So if I want to define the type of the roof of this house, so we can create a variable like string roof type, right? Now if I give a keyword here static, then this variable will be called as a static variable. Now if you can see these two variable type, only difference is that a static keyword. So what is the main difference or the functional difference between these two type of variable, instant and static variable? That is, if you want to access any instance variable, every time you have to create an instance of house. But if you declare anything as a static variable, then memory allocations of the static variable will happen only once when class is loaded. So specific instance is not required to access this type of variable. Now here you can also see there are some keyword I also use like int or string. Okay, so for the time being just ignore this one. These are nothing but some data type we will cover in our next class. So currently you can understand there are two type of variable. One is instance variable and one is static variable. That will be part just under our class. And the main difference between these two, one as instance specific and one is not instance specific. Now there are another type of variable which is called local variable, and local variable is declared under a method or a function. So you can see under this class I have created a method display house details. Now here I can declare my local variable. So what is this? So let's say I want to calculate the area of a house, right? So I can create a variable like area under this method or under these functions. Now the main difference between this and the other two is that this is called a local variable and this is only be accessible under this method. So you can see this method or this function start from here and end here. So under this, if we want to access this one for any type of business logics, so we can access this area, but we cannot access this area local variable outside this method. Okay, but we can use this type of variable instance or this static variable anywhere under this class. So if we conclude here, then variable is nothing but some identifier. It actually denotes some storage locations to store data value. So in real world, if we take this house as an example, so this house has length, width and height, and this type of property we can declare in Java, which is called variable, and this variable reserves some storage locations under memory, and this value for each variable will store in this slot. And also there are three type of variable: instance variable, static variable and local variable in Java. I believe this video has helped you to understand about the topic. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, click on the bell notifications and select all so that you don't miss any video from this channel.